Hello everyone, Drake Robinson is here, and I have to tell you guys about a new friend I made over the past, I want to say, week or so. Um, so it all started, like I said, about a week, I want to say Monday. I went to the park, do my normal reading, as you know, I always do. And yeah, usually there's a certain spot I sit in all the time. The coincidentally the same two spots I was accosted at twice um, uh, at that very same park. But on this particular day, a certain someone was sitting in my spot. And it's weird because normally I'm always at the park first, bright and early. But this time there's this kid there. This kid, look, I think he looked mixed, So I walked up to the kind of the opposite side of where he was sitting, and I sat myself down, and I read my book. And coincidentally enough, this kid was also reading a book. He looked up at me. He said hello, and I said hi. And we were kind of just sitting there reading our books, and then something in the back of my mind just kept telling me, uh, you know, uh, kind of, try to make some small talk. Clearly this kid, it's a Saturday. Uh, this kid is at the park all by himself. You know, he clearly must be, reading a book. What kid, nowadays does that, And that's kind of, that's kind of what I was asking myself. Um, so hesitantly, you guys know I'm more so introverted, but and this kid, he seemed very introverted as well. So I thought maybe, okay, I'll I'll just say how I'll just ask him how how he's doing and everything. So I proceed to make small talk. I say, normally, I kind of I get his attention and I say, I don't see very many kids, kind of, reading books, at the park early in the morning, on a Saturday. Normally they're asleep. And I kind of said that in a joking way. He said, well, yeah, well, I yeah, he said he likes reading, etc. He's actually new to the neighborhood. So I kept asking him more about himself. I was like, He said he didn't have any friends. He's kind of an outcast, and that's when I kind of, I kept getting more and more into what he was saying. And so I asked him what his name was, and I was like, he was like Micah. His name was Micah. And he is 12 years old, and he's actually adopted. He told me he was adopted. He actually was recently adopted. I think he said he's been with this new foster family. I think he said about a couple of months now, and so they just moved to this new area around my area. And he said that no one really liked him in the care system he was in with the other kids. They always treated him differently. And I told him I can relate to that 100%. And I went into telling him about my life, and we just had this very our first ever interaction, Micah and myself. This very very drawn out conversation, literally about 2.5 hours. I want to say we were just going back and forth, but that's when the horde of morons, blue pillars came in, and so I told him, and he said he had to get he kind of wasn't supposed to be out that early. His parents didn't know, so he wanted to, head back inside before they realized he was gone. But I told him, okay, I bid him a farewell, and I said, that seems like a good kid, you know. Definitely one, different from the others. I'll just put it like that. I think I think he's the first kid, Micah, that I've ever had a pleasant experience with at that park or just in general. Because for some reason the kids and I, especially a lot of these blue pill kids, I don't know. Well, and the thing is, well, blue pill kids. I don't want to say, I don't want to, broad brush. I'm all about the kids. You guys know. I never want to see a child hurt. In this world, that doesn't care, about children. What they learn, what they do, etc., etc. All this stuff I hear they're learning in schools and stuff. Trying to leave a horrible imprint in their mind about stuff, and it's just like very sickening to me. And so anyway, so I think after that it was a Wednesday because I didn't go to the park on Tuesday, but I went Wednesday. And Micah was there again, same time, same place. Reading his little storybook and well, a chapter book, I would say. I was surprised he was reading a chapter book too, but anyway. So I walk up to him. I say, "How you doing, friend?" And he looks up at me. He smiles. He says hi. He says hi back. Very polite. So I kept, so I asked him again. And I asked him this particular question. I said, "Hey, Micah, you and I have very similar, backgrounds. Well, obviously I'm a lot older, but when I was a kid, I went through the exact same thing as him. Maybe not with the whole, adoption thing and never having a real family. I've always had a family. But besides that, we have very similar upbringings. We're both loners. No one really cared about us. No one really, in school I'm talking about, no one really, gave us the time of day. No one really, So I asked Micah if he was aware of what the black pill was. And of course he had no idea. And so I went into grave detail explaining, my black pill story, um, which is available on my channel. Is the very first video all the way down. If you haven't seen it already, go and take a look. So I asked Micah, I was like, so yeah, Micah, so after I got done explaining it to him, he said he was just kind of like entranced, like it was a whole different language I was explaining to him, never heard before. So he was just like I could see the intrigue in his eyes, like because like as I was telling the story, I was looking directly at him, I I think without blinking, to tell you the truth, because I wanted him to get the full, I'm pouring my soul out to this kid, who has a very similar upbringing to mine. So I explained to him how the world is and how what the privileged society was, the blue pillars, etc. How the blue pillars are all bad, and what kind of took me aback. He said a lot of what I was saying about the blue pillars and their relationships and stuff like that. He said his foster parents are kind of just like that. They argue. That's why he likes coming to the park and reading his book because he doesn't like to be in the house when they argue and all heatedly and stuff. And I had to explain to him, well, Micah, your foster parents aren't going to tell you the truth about the world. Most, mostly, I'll just say lower on the totem pole individuals who are unfortunately born with the blue pill parents aren't going to tell them that the realities of the world. But who will tell you that? Black pillars like myself and black pillars, just in general, because we're going to be honest with you about how the unfairnesses, the injustices of the world. Because one thing about it, as far as I'm concerned, it's over for me. I'm not progressing at all in life, and I want Micah to know. So my time is up. So what my goal is now is to let younger folks like Micah know, who are lower on the totem pole, that how this world truly is, how the privileged blue pillars are going to treat you in this world, why you should have avoid any and all interactions with them on a personal level or just in general if possible. at all. I told him it was okay. I told him what the purest emotion was, uh, um, and why it's okay to have it, which I'll just say, which is also on my channel. If you guys want to know what the purest emotion is, um, you can go and take a look at that also. I went into grave detail about it and how it's okay to harbor, it's okay I'll just say, intensely dislike something or individuals who treat you wrong. And the blue pill society, which I explained to him, will treat him wrong in his life as he goes forward. So I wanted to get that into his brain. And I told him that his teachers, his parents, like I said, his blue pill parents, his blue pill teachers aren't going to tell him that, aren't going to tell him the truth. They're going to tell you the world is all sunshine and rainbows and that you can be the next LeBron James or Kevin Hart, and they're gonna tell you all that jazz. When myself, I told him I'm Draper. I told him this directly. Like I looked into his eyes, so I told him, but I won't tell you any lie because I have no motive, I have no agenda. I'm just a truth teller. And so, like after I got done with my whole speech there, he was just, and I was so impressed by the attentiveness of this kid. He didn't interrupt me once. He didn't look bored at all about what I was talking about. Because I think deep down he realized what I was talking, everything I was saying was true. And so he asked me, "Wow," he said, I wish I could talk all day with you." And I said, "Well, you know." So I kind of ripped a blank piece of page out of my out of my book, if I could speak. So I ripped a blank piece of page out of my book and I wrote down, because I always carry a little pocket pen with me everywhere I go, just in case. So I wrote down my phone number to him, and I also gave him my YouTube channel if he ever wanted to, if he ever had any problems with anything, or he ever needs to talk to someone. Because like I said, I'm a man of the, like I said, I'm all about telling the younger generation what the world really is like. I don't want to lie to them. I don't want to deceive them in any way. So I wrote down my phone number. I gave it to him. I said, if at any time you need anything, or you just need to talk, and you want more of the black pill explained to you, just here's my number, and we kind of, and we shook hands this time. I shook his hand and I said, yeah. So, yeah, we went our separate ways after that. And I kept thinking in the back of my mind after we did leave, because like we were talking again for like hours at that time, and so like I was thinking to myself, wow, I think I may have just, I think I may have just entered, my, um, this a younger version, and this I think I may have just entered, um, I think I'm just showing a child the right way to go. The black pill is the right way to go. And I think I may have just actually, I kept thinking to myself, I think I may have just actually, black pilled my first person in real life. Like I know I've black pilled some people, on this channel, but like to do it in person, it's like a whole different, um, I don't know, just like a whole different feeling. Like I felt alive after doing that. I felt like, wow, I just showed a younger, uh, I guess a Gen Zer, um, the right way to go, the right path to follow in life. Uh, you know, the path of righteousness, the path of truth telling, the path of not liking people who don't like you to begin with. I felt proud after doing that. And so, the next day on Thursday, um, I went back to the park, and Micah was there, and he said he was waiting for me. And so, and so, and so I told him a story about, just kind of like, pretty much how, like I said, I kind of reiterated a lot of stuff that, that, I kind of went over the previous days. I just reworded them in a different way. And so Micah says to me, he's like, wow, like you could be a teacher. Like you says, I wish you were my teacher. And like my heart kind of melted right there because I was like, wow, finally someone and finally someone appreciates my articulateness. Finally someone, can see, where I'm coming from. I know a lot of you good guys can out there who are subscribed. I mean, like in my personal life, people I interact with. Finally, people can see where I'm coming from, and not just dismiss me like I'm some crazy person or something. But anyway, so yeah, Micah says, I wish you were my teacher. And I look at him, I say, well, thank you, man. Um, you know, like I said, I think there's hope for you, Micah. I told him this directly. I think, here's what I want you to do. I want you to, any person you run into in your life, maybe in school, who's also introverts, who's also, down at the bottom of the totem pole like you are, who have been shunned out by the privileged society, blue pill society. I told him, Micah, I want you to give those folks. I want you to give those folks my phone number. Give those folks, well, not my phone. I don't think I said my phone number. I think I said give. I gave him my YouTube channel, and I said, Micah, show them, show them this. Show them, Drake the Black Pillar Robinson online, and let them watch my videos. Let them see what the world is really like from perspective of someone older. Because I know he's in middle school. He's 12, so he isn't gonna, I guess, properly. And he's kind of new to the black pill now, so he's not gonna really, understandably, not gonna be able to articulate it as well. So so yeah, like I said, he told me he watched like half my videos in just like one go around, and like he's like, yeah, you really could be a teacher. And I was like, I am a teacher, Micah. I want to teach you. I teach, the good guys who are subscribed to this channel right now, and yeah, and so that was our last interaction. Um, um, until and then there's today. Actually, I just spoke to Mike on the phone. By the way, I had to make him promise me he would never tell his parents that, that we talk at all, because, how the blue pillars are. They are too busy, arguing and, just neglecting him. I mean, why is your child, feeling so neglected that he has to leave the house every time you guys have an argument or just to get some peace? The house is where the peace should be, A kid should be in his room watching TV or sleeping in, not at the park, a kid his age I'm talking about. And so that's also kind of weird, baffling to me. But anyway, so yeah, clearly those are the type of parents that just blue pill parents that just don't care, like literally at all, foster parents. So yeah, I had to make him promise me he would never tell them about our interactions, and that, and that he actually looks up to me as a mentor. And I look forward to mentoring him. That gives me Micah, he gives me some faith in the next generation that maybe we can live in a society where the black pill rules. Well, that's wishful thinking, I know. But, Micah kind of gives me that hope. I'm very much looking forward to speaking to him more often. Maybe, he'll get some, like I said, maybe he'll find some friends who are lower on the totem pole like he is, who are introverts, who are, don't understand how cruel the world is, and he can bring them onto my side, and I'll explain it to them as well, But someone has to tell the truth. And if not us black pillars, then who will? So yeah. So yeah, that's my little story about, my new friend Micah, um, my new mentoree, I guess I should say. And yeah, I definitely look forward to yeah, taking him under my wing, if you will. So yeah, so, cause like I said, I'm all about the protection of children. I'm all about, never, ever, never steer anyone the wrong way, especially our younger generation, because they have to know the truth of what's going on. So anyway, that's about it. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, let the black pill guide you. Good guys. I'm out.